A lot of men are very insecure, and I think that women are showing up very strong in this season. So I think first step for a man to attract a boss, I don't want no insecure man.
Men typically aren't looking for boss women. Describe, let's talk about it.
A lot of men are very insecure, and I think that women are showing up very strong in this season. So I think first step for a man to attract a boss, I don't want no insecure man. If you are not sure of who you are and who you are not, and what you're not gonna do and what you're not gonna be, a boss don't want no man that's head hung low. I don't care if he broke right now. I don't care if he not healthy right now. I don't care if he lost his best friend. You gotta make her feel you got this. I have a lot of successful women friends, and we talk about this all the time. These men are insecure because if they bag not right, they think they can't approach you. If they status not right, they think they can approach you, not knowing women just love a confident man. Be confident and secure in who you are, and that's all you got to do. Everything will work itself out.
One of the things that I don't like about looking at certain podcasts when you have these conversations, why don't the men push back? Why don't the men push back on the very obvious thing? First, saying, yeah, most men aren't looking for boss women. Men are very comfortable in terms of not dating in their tax bracket, as in dating down. They're comfortable with that. They're more concerned with how someone treats them, and boss women are not famous for treating men kindly. And the more important part is when you say, listen, all you have to do is be confident. No, especially you boss women have constantly said you have your own and you need a man that has the same or better. So if his money's not right, you don't want him. The status isn't right, you don't want him. You literally, the game has been laid out in such a way that's saying that successful women have a harder time dating, finding equitable mates, because they're looking hyperbolically, or at least looking laterally and say, I need someone that's on my status. You constantly lament that men don't have as many degrees. Men aren't, or the men that you're dating don't have the degrees, or not in the business, or they're not entrepreneurs, they're not making the same amount of you're making. So you constantly complain that there's a lack of good men. But we know that there's more truth to this, or there's more nuance to this. The reason why you say when these men, have insecurities, and I won't deny that, we all have insecurities about a myriad of subjects, but how we use those insecurities and how we let those regulate our lives becomes a different story. When you are constantly having the same refrain about a lacking of the qualities of a man, that tells the rest of the world that you are constantly aiming not at what you say you should have, not at the men that are worthwhile, or who have done the work, or who have the successful bag or the status. That's not the type of man you're shooting for. There's a certain type of character where, and this is genderless, where your insecurities sort of rule you. When you can't do things because you're so afraid of an outcome, you're so worried about how you're going to be perceived and looked. That type of pathway typically has a salary cap. You don't really see insecure CEOs. You don't really see insecure entrepreneurs, because it takes a wild level of self-belief to think I can make something like this happen. So you're not dating the men on your level as women have outlined it. You're dating below it. And then you're getting upset that that's not what you're seeing. You're getting upset at these insecurities. It's the same thing as the man dating a younger woman complaining that she's not mature. She doesn't have any life experience. Look at the pool in which you're swimming in. That becomes the issue. If you're upset about the surrounding quality around you, the issue really isn't the pool. The issue is you. You aren't where you're supposed to be. After a while, if you're looking at success as the rubric, as the metric, then you have to go where the successful people are. You are more concerned with being the big fish in the little pond. That way, you never really have to be challenged. The truth is, when you go to where your income, to where your tax bracket allegedly is matched, then you find you can't compete there. Because once you start getting rid of the chaff, we're getting rid of the wheat, and then you're around the men that you say you deserve, they don't look at you. That's when you realize you do not have the qualities. Your income got you in the same spaces, but being in the same space isn't the same thing as being desired by these men of this caliber. Okay, you make $100,000, they make $100,000. You say you want a man making $100,000. Congratulations. That's exactly where you are. Now the conversation now becomes a little more, tilted, where now he's saying, this is what I want. And you can lament, you can call him insecure, you can call him intimidated, you can say whatever you want. But at that level, all that becomes noise. All that becomes absolute noise, garbage. No one cares at that point. No one cares. Hey, I'm a six-figure earner. Sure, everyone here is. Everyone here is. The price for entry into this in this place was you make 6 figures. Okay, it's less important now. Well, I'm a boss. Okay, sure as everyone else there. Or if we look and say that was never on the requirements. You didn't have to be a boss babe to be here. No. At that level, they're going to start saying, this is exactly what I'm looking for. If I don't find it in you, then there doesn't have to be anything between us. It's not insecurity. It's not intimidation. The issue at large is that you constantly, you're swimming in a pool that's too small for you by your own definition. Not that this is what men are saying they're looking for. You just can't keep ignoring it until when you get to those spaces. You can't continue to just bully and say, there's something wrong with the men. They're intimidated. No one cares. It's frank, it's cold. No one cares at that point. You want this type of man, you have to go where they're abundant, and then you have to change your strategy. Because right now it's very easy for any woman to say the men are intimidated, they don't know how to step to a boss, they're not confident. We can point out so many different scenarios and issues with what you're saying and why men don't behave in the way you've got laid out. Men don't want to open up to you. If you're telling me that his best friend dies and he can't be sad, his head is down, then there's an issue? Okay, cool, we get it. We know not to show that sort of emotion around you, a boss babe. But men are saying, we don't really want that anyway. You can ignore that right now because the first rejoinder is you want to compare accomplishments. Financial, maybe academic, and say, you see, I don't really care what you have to say because you're not the target market. When you find a target market, you're going to get the very same refrain. I don't care what you have to say because you're not my target market. You just misaligned. Rather than coming here and saying it's all these men have insecurities, even the rich men, even the successful men have insecurities. They just weaponize it, or they just created pathways where it helps fuel them. That's it. A lot of men that are in shape, they have insecurities about their weight, about how they look, about their physical appearance. So what do? They use that to fuel them to say, this is why you go to the gym every day. This is why you constantly obsess over that. At that level, as the higher up you go, you turn those insecurities into strengths. But the real deal is you're not prepared to have those conversations over there. You constantly find refrains or women talking about how the man isn't living up, or he didn't do this. He moved in with me. He borrowed my car. I held him down. Why are you holding down someone if you're telling us that the type of man that you want doesn't need to be held down? Why are you accepting less from a regular? Because that's actually where you belong. You think these accolades make a difference. You think becoming a boss babe makes a difference to the men of that caliber. They don't. That's why you're still having these conversations among the same men you claim are unsuitable for you. That's it. Because as successful as you are, as accomplished as you are, you take that into an actual equitable market and they say, I don't care about any of that. I don't care about any of that. Most of us aren't even fit enough for having that conversation. When you get to that spot, when people are making enough money, especially men, and you're saying, this is the type of man I want. When you look at that man that meets all those requirements, those are physical requirements, or those monetary requirements, why are you not with him? It's not like you can't find them. He's just not into you. Just the way you don't see the postal worker, the same way you don't see as the man that bags your groceries, he doesn't see you. He doesn't see you. So if you, and again, back to not pushing back on when some of these women are talking, I have so many other friends, boss babes, and they say the same thing. These men are insecure. They don't walk with confidence. That's all you need. Since when? Since when is confidence all you need? You have the same issues with these men. They still don't meet the qualifications that you set. Not the rest of us. Not that we made up stuff and said, well, I just walked up to her confidently and that was enough. No, she's going to test you. She's going to ask about your accomplishments. She's going to ask about your schooling, your academics. She's going to ask about your salary. And these are the ways she weeds you out, or at least you just join a roster. We're playing the game by the rules you set. It's not men making stuff up. We're just saying, when you get advanced to this next tier, a lot of men who have walked that path, they say, yeah, I don't want that. There's nothing you really do about it. You can keep calling men intimidated, call them insecure. All that works at the base level. As people climb and become more and more in tune with who they are, all of that's just noise. But listen, if you disagree, let me know down in the comments below. If you see other videos on the screen, check those out. Let me know your thoughts about those and those videos, of course. If you listen to Sound Before Sound, if you have not subscribed, I think you should. We're trying to build something dope. See you in the next one.